Hello
Hello.
guys.
Ayan, nakamute
Kamusta?
pala.
Ay,
Sorry.
ay. Mute pala
Okay.
tayo. So,
Welcome po
ayun.
sa ating live stream.
Welcome
Yeah, go
guys.
on.
Nakakota na ba kayo? Sana, sana tapos na rin kayo.
Wow,
Actually,
cutie,
kaka-ano lang
sabi
ng
ni
server no?
sabi ni Kano Reeves. Wow, cutie. Thank you
Mas
po.
cutie po kayo.
Cutie-cutie ka daw. Marami nagsasabi.
Calories.
Nanonood daw sila from Italy, Paris, France.
Actually, ang
Ito.
dami nga from all over the world nga eh.
Ayan, sabi niya, watching
Grabe
from my
talaga
Kawayan,
AAPH.
Bulacan. Ito, watching from my
Ayan.
CP. Ayan, Aaron Hernandez, shout out sa iyo. Ayan, kota na. Nakakota na daw si Aaron Frias Celestino.
Nice. Ayan, makakatulog tayo ng maaga guys. Oh, wait. Before anything pala guys, I'd like to introduce myself. So I'll be your host for tonight, but you can call me James. So just a little bit about me. Ako yung social media manager ng AAPH. So part ako nung nagmamanage ng content dito. So along with our creatives team. So shoutout nga pala dyan sa mga AAPH creative team na nanonood ngayon. This wouldn't have been possible without all your hard work. So thank you guys. Salamat,
Watching
salamat.
from Scotland daw si Brent Samonte. Ayan. Hello, Brent
Hello,
Samonte.
Mr.
Shout out
Brent.
po sa'yo. Okay, go on.
Okay. So speaking of yung creative team ng AAPH, di ba nag-recruit tayo? Naghahanap pa tayo ng mga members, no?
Yes, pwede.
Yes. So actually, naghahanap kami ng graphic designers, mga researchers, pati ng mga content creators. So, if you're looking to pursue a social media career, and mag-build ng resume nyo, mas maganda tong opportunity sa inyo kasi mas makakapag-play around kayo ng ideas nyo and especially malaking page to. So kung may naisip pa yung content dyan, it's gonna be very helpful for us. So email nyo lang dyan sa Axie tapos mag-screen kami ng mga applicants. So ayun, so most of you here guys, so siguro kilala nyo na naman si Brel or also known as si Mr. Arpo. So sa mga hindi pa nakakilala sa kanya, he is the founder of AAPH.
Sabi ni
So may
John Christopher Marquez, watching from Japan. Japan Gasinan. Shout out sa'yo, John Marquez. Ayan.
shoutout sa'yo.
Okay.
Okay. So, ayun, may updates tayo lagi so dahil sa kanya. So, salamat Sir Arpo kasi ayun, kahit marami nang nagmumura sa page natin, sobrang patient mo pa rin.
Ayan, sabi ni
So,
Nick Pantalyon, shout out po sa Pantalyon family.
shoutout
Mga
sa
pinsan ko po
Pantalyan
yan. Shout out
family.
po sa inyo, Pantalyon family. Ayan.
Thank you for watching. All right. So disclaimer nga pala guys. So again, we're not affiliated with Axie Infinity officially. Well, at least not yet. So ayun, pero we'll still continue to, give you updates 24 hours. So ayun, actually tapos ka na ba sa adventure mo, Bryle?
Ako hindi pa kasi syempre
Ad.
may live stream pa tayo so mamaya na tayo
Pero guys,
tatapos ng kota.
nakikita ko sa mga comments, ang dami nang tapos na makakatulog daw sila na maaga. So,
Yes.
good job.
Hindi namin kayo masya-shoutout lahat guys kasi ang bilis ng comments
Ang bilis,
section
grabe.
natin.
Sobrang
Yes.
bilis tong comment section. So,
Shoutout sa 1,700
hinay lang.
viewers natin. Ayan. Thank you po sa inyo sa walang sawang pag-update sa amin. Watching from Japan. Alright.
Actually, mas marami makakapanood ngayon kasi tapos na silang lahat So, nood na kayo guys. Share nyo yung stream. Tag nyo yung mga friends nyo na tapos na magkota. Sabihin nyo, nood na lang dito sila. Chill tayo dito.
Ayan. Okay. Pending thoughts.
Ayan. So, actually, sino dito yung mga nanalo na ng mga merch from the previous streams natin and yung mga pa-contests natin sa mga posts? So, para dun sa mga nanalo, don't worry kasi if you haven't received them yet, we will start to roll out your prizes starting the first week of August. So, we still have the list pa rin naman kung sino yung mga nanalo. So, no need to worry again kasi ibibigay pa rin namin siya sa inyo. And kaya lang na-delay kasi, ayun, nagka-problema sa servers nga. So, medyo naging busy. Pero don't worry, papadala na namin siya sa inyo. And i-PPM nyo na lang sila, 'di ba, Sir Arpo? And then
Yes, ako na pala.
papadala nyo na siya. Okay.
Ay, sabi ni
So
Emmanuel Sichon, grab this opportunity to thank these kind
wow.
people behind the page for being with us and updating us, especially nung sira ang server. Yes po, hanggang madaling araw po tayo magkakasama. Hindi namin kayo iiwan. Kahit
Sana
minumura
kaya
niyo na
makatulog
kami.
tayo ng maaga.
Ayan,
Ayun.
sabi ni pwede ba daw i-record to para
I-record.
watch ko mamaya. Nasa work pa kasi ako. Mark Noel, may kita mo tong live stream sa
Yes.
Facebook ng AAPH after ng live
Actually,
mismo.
after itong live na to, you can play it back. Pwede nyo siyang i-replay. Tapos panoorin nyo na lang siya later on.
Okay.
Okay.
Ayan.
So by the way, meron pa tayong pag-giveaway ng headphones. So sa last post natin wala pang nananalo. So just simple lang yung mechanics actually. Share nyo lang yung post tapos comment kayo why deserving kayo manalo ng headphones. Tapos use the hashtags found dun sa post. Okay? So later on actually meron tayong special guest for tonight. Pero mamaya ko na siya ipapakilala sa inyo. Pero for now, if meron kayong questions regarding crypto or anything regarding Axie Infinity, ask lang kayo sa comment section natin with the hashtag AskAAPH. So ayan, naka-flash na siya sa screen. Again, if may questions kayo, ask nyo lang yung question nyo. Tapos, again, with the hashtag AskAAPH. So, ayan. So, magbabasa din kami ng mga Ask AAPH posts from yung mga posts na pinost namin kahapon tsaka sa Twitter. Okay. Ayun. So, pwede na ba natin ipakilala ang speaker?
Yes.
Okay. So, moving on to our special segment for tonight. So, just a brief intro about him. He is the co-founder of BloomX, one of the licensed crypto exchanges here in the Philippines. So please welcome on stage Mr. Luis Buenaventura II.
Hey
Ayan.
guys, good evening.
Good evening
Thank you
po,
so
Sir
much for the
Luis.
Hello, sir.
invitation. I'm really
Pleasure
excited to
to
be here
meet you
tonight.
guys.
Ayan.
Alright.
Sabi ni Jam Arukan, as AAP, pwede na po ba mag-cash out?
Pwede po
Depende
mag-cash
po
out.
yan kung meron na kayong
Kung gusto nyo, kung feel nyo na.
Ayan, Sir Luis, may first question si Fred Padilla. May posibilidad ba biglang bumagsak ang Axie Infinity?
Hirap naman ang first question nyo. Like, wala man yung warm-up. May posibilidad. Yeah, I mean, lahat naman ng bagay meron, di ba? Like, everything has the possibility of going down. But I think that we are very, very aware of the founders of Axie Infinity, yung Sky Mavis team. They're very transparent on Twitter. We see them talking to the community all the time. I feel like there's a lower possibility na mag-fail talaga yung game because they're not trying to they're always very, very open and transparent with the community. So if there are any problems, they always talk to the community and they tell them exactly what's going on. So I like yung style na yun kasi that means that they're not trying to hide anything. They're being very open and honest na kahit na hindi perfect yung game ngayon, medyo nagkakaproblema dun sa mga servers and stuff like that, at least diba, what they're doing behind the scenes to fix those things. So I like that. You can't tell 100% for sure kung magiging successful na ang isang project.
Talaga,
Yeah.
Totoo yan.
Okay. Ang next question naman is Cedric Bacho. Possible ba na mag-intervene ang BIR?
Wala kayong mga simple questions.
Puro na sila hardcore questions.
Okay. Wow, we're really going serious questions agad. Okay. Posible ba na mag-intervene ang BIR? Okay, so so we were actually talking about this right before the show started, diba? So we were talking about pwede bang matax yung mga Axie players. Kasi like, if you know that you are going to be earning 30,000 pesos a month, 40,000 pesos a month from playing this game, and yun yung parang average pa nga, diba? That's not even the high end. Eventually, kasi, either your bank will ask you where this money is coming from, Or, if you are very, very visible, it's possible na yung BIR mismo yung magtatanong sa'yo kung saan ba nanggaling yung earnings mo na yan. Um, there is no specific law about making money from blockchain games, obviously, because blockchain games have only been around for maybe a year,
3
maybe.
years?
Yeah.
What, a
I
year?
mean,
2
actually,
years?
Axie Infinity has been around for a while, no? Pero I would argue na it's really only been in the last siguro mga 12 to 18 months na naging meaningful yung amount of money that it's generating. Kasi back when we were first looking at it in early 2020, hindi pa ganun kalaki yung parang income that was possible with it. It was a very young game back then. Anyway, so I think that there's no law, no? So there's no specific law about it. And all I can say about the BIR question is it's possible that they will try to treat you like freelancers. And I'm gonna do my first plug of the night. And this company has nothing to do with me. These guys are just friends of mine. So if you want to know what the regulations about freelancers are, para lang you can get an idea of how it works, yung kung paano kayo matatax and stuff like that, paano kayo magbabayad ng tax. You can go to taxumo.com. So these are Filipinos, they're friends of mine, they're accountants, specialists sila in this kind of thing, and they have entire pages full of guides for freelancers. So actually, pwede mong i-google na lang freelance tax Philippines, taxumo.com yung business nila, and they actually guide you for like how to get into this stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, the founders of this company are actually Axie players themselves. So cool, diba? It's
At least gets din nila. So next question, Sir Luis. Ayan, ni Teres. Ask AA Fish, bakit hindi sumusunod sa trend ng BTC and ETH ang galaw ni SLP and AXS?
Yeah. Well, so hindi naman lahat ng cryptocurrencies kasi sabay-sabay gumalaw eh. Like that's actually a misconception to assume na lahat sila pare-pareho. There's actually charts that you can look at that will describe kung alin dun sa mga cryptocurrencies yung sabay gumalaw and which of them are what we call uncorrelated assets, meaning hindi sila, like, no matter what Bitcoin does, they're going somewhere else, they're not responding, whatever, right? So hindi sila, they're not together. So the cryptocurrencies that are always the same are Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. Oh, that one's kind of obvious kasi magkakapatid sila eh. And then one other really old one. And then there's a whole bunch of other coins na medyo magkakapareho din. Chainlink, Aave, Comp. These are what we call DeFi tokens. Though when one of those goes up, generally all of them go up. So yung AXS and SLP, they belong to a different family of coins. So yung group na to, yung mga P2E na coins. So you'll see most of them kind of go up roughly at the same time. So AXS, TLM, yung Alien Worlds, DeFi Pet, what else is, most of these coins. So basically what it means is, pag napansin ng market na merong isa sa kanila that is doing well, meaning, kunwari, AXS, like today, it's all-time high na naman, di ba? $50 na siya ngayon. Nakita ng market na pataas itong coin na to. What these other traders will do is they will look at other coins that are similar to AXS and then they will make a bet on that coin. So that's why the projects like DeFi Pet, maybe even Crypto Blades, these kind of newer games, tumataas din yung mga prices nila because there are people that are betting on it, even though the game economy is not as fleshed out as Axie Infinity. It's very, very young compared to Axie Infinity. So this is just the market, parang it's making bets on these other tokens. And as you can see from DeFi Pet, diba, parang times 7 ata yung price niya in the last month or something. Basta malaki yung jump niya eh. I personally don't know anything about it other than the price. Like I was just watching it na parang sobrang laki nga nung price jump niya. And that, I think you can actually argue na ano yun eh, that was Axie Infinity that was making it go up. It was making everything go up because of...
Actually, siguro sir, pwede na rin natin pag-usapan dito ang pump and dump scheme. So, shout out muna sa 2,194 viewers natin.
Wow.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay, so guys, pag-uusapan natin ang pump and dump scheme and kung paano ito nakaka-apekto sa SLP and AXS value natin for the past months actually.
Yep.
So, go ahead, sir.
Sure. Okay. So the question is, why does the price of SLP go up and down and up and down? I guess let's do SLP first kasi iba yung nangyayari dun sa SLP. So the reason why SLP's price goes up and down is actually because of you guys. Because you're earning SLP and then you're turning that SLP, you're selling that SLP to turn it into Ethereum or peso, depending on, where you're trading it, no? And what that means is, pag sabay-sabay kayo nagbebenta, ang mangyayari kasi niyan, lumalaki yung supply in the market, right? So the SLP, there's more SLP that's being offered in the market. Ano mangyayari dun sa price? Bababa siya, right? Bababa siya because there's more supply, maybe there's not as much demand. Now, that's very, very basic economics. Pag mas maraming supply, not as much demand, then the price of the thing, the price will go down. That's very natural economics. Now, you guys are doing that very regularly, every 14 days, diba? So, nagka-claim kayo, and then you guys are selling that SLP through, maybe through Uniswap or you're turning it into Ether, and then maybe yung Ether na yun send mo sa coins.ph. Lahat nung ginagawa nyo na yun, lahat ng actions na yun has an effect on the market. Sometimes it's a very small effect. But if there's enough of you, it's like, 400,000 Filipinos playing Axie Infinity. If you're all selling SLP every 14 days, magkakaroon talaga ng magkakaroon ng impact dun sa price yan. Which is why I always tell Axie players who ask me for just recommendations, I'll usually say, don't sell your SLP on the 15th of the month or the 30th of the month because that is when everyone else is doing it.
Right? Ayan. Guys, so just a tip from Sir Luis.
That's actually a good tip.
15th and 30th of the month.
Don't do it then. Don't do it then. Do it a few days before. So I have my own scholars. So I have a few scholars that I sponsored myself. Hindi ako yung nag-manage pero like I bankrolled it. So ang ginagawa namin, always off schedule yung pag-claim namin ng SLP. So inabangan na lang namin. So kunwari, this is just an example. This is not exactly when we do it. So we'll usually pwedeng July 10, tapos the next time is July 25. Yung ganun na timing. So in other words, hindi ka masasabay dun sa majority of the sellers, right? So that's one possible way na mas ma-optimize mo yung earnings nyo. And if you look at the market of this last month, di ba nag 20 pesos yung SLP? That was July, that was before the 15th. And then after that, kasi medyo bumaba siya, di ba? So parang ngayon what are we at right now? Mga 15 pesos? Something like that? I believe we're right around 14 or 15 pesos right now.
We left at 15 kanina mga 8 o'clock.
Right. Okay. So, you need to give SLP enough time to recover kasi parang pag marami kayong masyado nagbebenta at the same time, bababa talaga yung price. That's just a very natural thing for the market to do. But if you give it enough time to recover, ang mangyayari, what is actually making the price go back up? It's the breeders. Diba? So the breeders are going to the market and they're buying SLP because they need to start breeding more Axies so that they can sell more teams. Yun yung that's how they earn money, diba? So the breeders will be the ones to make the price come back up, but you need to give it time. You can't just like throw all of the SLP into the market at the same time kasi matagal masyado bago siya mabili lahat. So yun, that's one recommendation I can do. Just come up with your own schedule. Don't do 15th and 30th. Although it's very convenient. I understand naman kung bakit 15th and 30th kasi lahat ng mga bills that you want to pay are usually ganun yung timing end of the month or start of the month.
And actually mas convenient siguro na tatandaan nila kung kailan.
Right.
15 and 30.
Exactly. Yeah. So parang parang sweldo lang. I totally understand why you're doing it, but it's going to cause very weird fluctuations in the market na parang before I even started getting into Axie Infinity, napapansin ko na siya dun sa charts pag tinitignan mo yung hourly charts for a given month. Almost always dun sa second week of the month saka dun sa last week of the month, yun yung pinakamababa nung SLP value for that month. So it's actually pretty easy to predict it kasi sabay-sabay kayo nag-a-act or sabay-sabay kayo nagbebenta. So ayun. So that's the reason for the So hindi technically pump and dump 'yon. No one's actually pumping or dumping there. You are technically just dumping actually kasi you're all selling at the same time, and that's yung parang technical definition, 'di ba, of dumping. Ngayon, yung with AXS, it's completely different. But you should ask yourself first, what is AXS in the first place? So AXS, originally, it was just what we call a governance token. So it means na this is a way for you to maybe vote on the future of Axie Infinity. Pag nagkaroon na sila ng ganun na features, I don't actually believe that.
Actually, nasa quarter 3 na po ata siya, or quarter 4 ang governance for the tokens. Sa plan sa white paper.
Okay. So we can look forward to that within the next maybe 1 or 2 months, no? Great.
Ayan, okay, so next question po from Renz. Ayan, siguro sa inyo to, Sir Luis, as AAPH. Ask ko lang po kailan mag-ooperate yung BloomX sa website.
So, we actually already are operating. So, we've been operating since March. Ang nakikita nyo kasi when you go to the BloomX website is parang waitlist. So, you join the waitlist. So I'll give you a tip right now. If you go to the website, you put your email and your name, and you join the waitlist, tomorrow morning, you can go to our Facebook page. I guess we can just type that in somewhere. So basta the Facebook page is fb.com/bloomxorg. BLOOMXORG. So anyway, so you go to the Facebook page, you talk to one of our sales personnel there, or our customer support personnel, and then you tell them that you're an Axie Infinity player and you want to get early access to bloomx.app, right? And if you do that, you will get early access within the next 24 hours. So yung promise namin to the Axie Infinity community is that if you tell us that you are an Axie player, then we will give you early access to the platform. So almost all of our users are actually Axie players.
Is this the website, Sir Luis? Yung
this is our Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where you would send us a message. Pero yung website namin itself is bloomx.app. APP. That's how you go to the website, and that's where you would sign up for the waitlist.
Ayan. So next question. Ayan, sabi ni Mark. As AAPH, how early do you think we are in terms of long-term growth of mass adoption?
I wonder what he means by mass adoption. Like mass adoption of P2E, like play to earn, or crypto in general?
Siguro ano po to, sir? How early tayo sa Axie Infinity as of now?
Okay.
In terms of crypto value.
With P2E, with play to earn, this is I feel like this is step 1 of maybe 100. So I don't actually think that it will be Axie Infinity long term that will be kind of the most important game in play to earn. But I think that Axie Infinity is very, very critical right now kasi siya yung first one na umabot ng 100,000 players. Now it's like 800,000 players or something like that. So it's the most important one right now. And you can see that from the fact that your show exists, the fact that your Facebook group exists. There are 240,000 people in your Facebook group. It already does prove that it is the most important play-to-earn game right now. 10 years from now, it's going to be something else entirely. And we know that naman just from looking at games, diba? Like, how many games do you play that, other than CSGO, how many other games do you play that was around 10 years ago? Probably not a lot, no? Kasi medyo mabilis magpalit yung game industry, eh. Usually sequels or whatever. But, so yeah, maybe 10 years from now, we'll be playing Axie Infinity 7 or something like that. Parang Final Fantasy. But I think that, there is so much more that we can do sa play to earn, and we're just I think the term is that we're at the tip of the iceberg. We don't know yet what is underneath all of this. We're still trying to figure it out, which is why it's so exciting to be here and talking about it right now.
Yes, actually kaya guys, masanay na kayo sa mga frequent maintenance updates natin kasi hindi pa tayo fully released mainstream sa iOS and Android. So, ang sabi nga ni Psych Out, part ng growing is yung mga pains na na-experience natin ngayon in terms of mga maintenances sa matagal and matagal na downplay.
Yeah.
So, kasama siya sa growth ng
Maging
Axie
patient lang
Infinity.
din tayo, guys.
And actually, ang
Magiging
sabi
smooth
niya,
din yan.
Axie Infinity is a marathon. Hindi siya pwede sa mga madaling sumusuko lang. So, ayun, tandaan nyo, next year tayo lalabas sa mainstream. So, ayan, sabi sir ni, Kyre Montanier, as a crypto entrepreneur, would you recommend investing and reinvesting in Axie Infinity?
Reinvesting? I wonder what he means by reinvesting.
Siguro pag nag-back out.
Well, sige, ganito na lang. And I can tell you what I'm supposed to say, which is, I'm not supposed to give financial advice, to people because there's licenses that you need to get if you want to be a real professional financial advisor. But I'll tell you na lang what my personal experience is. So there's a couple of things that I'm invested in right now. AXS, obviously. I didn't invest in SLP because I didn't like the way that the charts would go up and down within the month. No, so AXS is where I invested most of my money. Hindi naman most of my money. I should say some of my money, just a little bit amount of, not a lot. So I invested in AXS around the time when it was mga $5, I guess. So early this year lang yun eh. That was not even 4 months ago, like when it was $4 or $5. And then I've just been holding that. So that's one. The second thing I did was I bought several Axie teams through some friends of ours. Most of them I bought through Crypto Shanks, who's a good friend of mine. And then yun, nagpa-scholar kami. So we have a few scholars that are playing our teams right now. So yun yung two ways that I have directly invested in this. The third way was very very recently lang. I invested in YGG, yung business nila Gabby Dizon. So these guys are one of the largest guilds of Axie players here in the country. And I wanted to support what they were doing, so I made an investment in the business. So yun yung mga ways that I've been doing it. And if you want to, am I making recommendations? I'm not really. I'm just explaining to you how I approached it. I think that if you wanted to very very safely make an investment in this stuff, I think just buy AXS. Yun yung pinakamabilis eh. Just buy AXS and then just hold it. Yun lang. No strategy, just hold it. Right? Maybe not today pala because all-time high siya. Maybe wait for it to go down slightly. But generally speaking naman, whenever a token hits an all-time high, the next day or two, bababa din yan eh. Diba? Kasi ganun talaga yung markets eh. So, ang nangyayari is, people who are traders or investors, maybe like me, they'll buy at a cheaper price. So, in my case, $5. And then pag ngayon, $50 na siya, I have to really think about whether or not I want to hold my AXS, diba? Kasi times 10 na yun eh. That's pretty good, right? That's a very good investment. Or very good returns on your investment. And yun, the people who are selling yung AXS nila right now at $50, they're the ones who are taking profit. And if there's enough of them who are taking profit at the same time, the price goes down. And that's why you can expect na after this $50, it's possible na bababa siya ulit. And then if you want to buy, you can buy then. Yun lang. So tatimingan mo lang siya. This is not a good time to do it kasi all-time high nga eh. So,
Ayan, sir. Next question naman from Alaska Lago. Would the economy of Axie Infinity thrive without the entrance of new players? Actually, siguro, connected to sa daily active users natin na exponentially na nag-grow every day. Tapos marami nagsasabi na maintenance na naman, bakit hindi natin isarado muna yung server sa mga new players para at least yung mga players, current players is makapaglaro. So hindi muna tayo mag-ano. And actually, nabasa ko to sa white paper na Axie Infinity na ang pagsa-stop ng new players or newcomers sa Axie Infinity will actually affect the economy. So anong masabi niyo doon, Sir Luis?
Yeah. So let's go back to the two important roles in the Axie economy. No? So the first is the players. Obviously, the players earn SLP and then they sell that SLP para they have pesos or they have Ethereum or whatever, right? So and then the second most important role is the breeders. The breeders are the ones who are actually buying the SLP and using it for something. If you don't have new players, the breeders won't have a lot of people to sell their Axie teams to. Granted, it's possible na they can just sell them to other players. That's possible naman. But it's easier to sell them to new players because the new players don't have anything to start with, diba? They have to buy talaga in order to start participating. So kasama dun sa entry fee nila na bumili muna sila ng team. Which is kind of how I got into it. Wala naman akong background in Axie before that. So the only choice I had back in, I guess, March this year, bumili talaga kami ng team. We bought it from the marketplace. It wasn't even like yung mga in Facebook na yung mga teams na buo na. Like, inisa-isa namin siya from the marketplace and we just put it together. And it's players like that are making the economy become very, very, what's the word for it? Well, I mean, firstly, the price is going up very fast, no? Kasi ang daming bumibili, right? So all of the Axies in the marketplaces are getting bought. So the breeders are very, very encouraged. They want to sell more Axies because they know that there are more buyers. So, yeah, if you don't have new players, babagal yung economy. What will happen is all the prices will go down. Diba? Kasi kulang na yung buyers mo eh. So you'll have fewer Axie teams being bought. That means that the breeders are not going to buy as much SLP. That means that the SLP price will go down. That means that the players who are trying to sell their SLP will have fewer buyers for that SLP, etc., etc. So parang ano yan, that's how economies work. If there's fewer buyers, everything slows down, all of the prices go down. So you don't want that, obviously, but parang kailangan mo rin i-balance yun against the fact na nahihirapan nga yung Sky Mavis right now to maintain their servers for 800,000 DAU or whatever the number is right now. So you kind of have to balance both of those concerns. Like I think we just keep monitoring the situation, just do our best, diba? So
Ayan. So sabi naman ni Marvin De La Paz, sir, any advice for new and incoming crypto players? Since connected naman siya doon.
Yeah. So the advice I always give is actually on my hat. Let me see if I can show you. Can you read this? There you go. So that says, don't trust, verify. And what that means is don't just trust that, just because some guy on Facebook live stream told you that, that so and so is true. Don't immediately trust that. You have to do your homework sometimes and just double check. Try to find out kung totoo nga yung mga sinasabi ko. Me personally, I mean, I'm sure you can trust Bryle and James. They're fine, but like you need to double check everything that I'm telling you because that is you need to do your homework, do your research. Don't just take other people's word for it. And that's just being responsible. Kasi totoong pera na yung pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? So, you need to do a little bit of research. Don't just take everyone's word for it at face value without double-checking. So, yun, that's my biggest advice. Everything else kasi kaya mong pag-aralan, but you have to be willing to study on your own in order to protect yourself also.
Yes, and more on research talaga before pumasok sa crypto kasi hindi naman to business na may kita kang revenue agad-agad. So, ayun, do your research then and risk kung ano yung pera na kayang pag nawala, edi okay lang.
Yes,
naman
ayun. Tama. Yun din yung actually gusto kong i-add. this is kind of mainstream na rin. Pero invest what you can afford to lose. Ayun. Huwag kayo magsawang sabihin yun sa sarili nyo kasi I think that will really help you like do big decisions like this. Kasi Axie Infinity is really an investment. It's not like a need. It's not a job. So, ano lang siya, parang isipin yung bonus lang talaga siya.
Yeah.
So,
Huwag niyo siyang gawing business, kaya huwag kayo magalit masyado.
Tama. Huwag kayo masyado magpa-apekto, huwag kayo mang-bash ng mga devs.
Ayan. Sabi ni Joaquin Carrillo, since the bear market is coming or soon, do you think SLP AXS will survive the bear market? If so, what could be the possibilities? Ayan, alam na nila.
So, okay, thank you for the question. I actually think we've been in the bear market for about 2 months now. I think AXS and SLP are doing fine. As we can see, diba? So, firstly, nag all-time high sila pareho eh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess SLP technically wasn't all-time high. I think their all-time high was back in March. Pero yung 20 pesos, very, very close to their all-time high. I think that they'll be fine. And the reason why I think that is because hindi sila nakasabay dun sa growth or decline nung major cryptocurrencies. They're on a completely different path right now. The AXS token specifically is the only, it feels like it's the only Ethereum-based token that's doing well right now. Everything else is kind of flat.
Negative.
They're flat or negative or something like that, no? AXS is one of the few that is actually doing well. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I really like the fact that Axie Infinity kasi has its own economy. So it doesn't care so much about what the rest of the market is doing. The only thing it really cares about is gas fees. And even then, medyo mas hindi na ganun kalaking bagay yung gas fees because you have Ronin now. So most of the time, wala ka nang iniisip na gas fees except for when you're doing the conversion, I guess, to ERC20 or something. So yeah, I actually don't think AXS will be really affected by the bear market because we're already in one and it's hit an all-time high twice this month? Di ba? Parang
and actually, Sir Luis,
na-break yung record niya.
Nabe-break kasi ang mahirap sa SLP, nabe-break niya yung cycle na pinipredict sa kanya. So, according sa mga ibang sites na chinek ko last time, by December pa siya dapat aabot ng mga 20 pesos, 21 pesos, pero na-reach natin siya this July. So, ang sabi nga ni ang co-founder na Axie is Axie Infinity will continue to shock the world in terms of crypto, in terms of value.
Yeah. The only thing I have to add to that is that I think so the thing about SLP kasi yun nga hindi kasi siya let me think about how to say this in the simplest way. The thing that is driving its up and down is actually the market itself, the users themselves, yung pagbebenta ng mga players or yung pagbibili ng mga breeders. That's what's making that price go up and down very regularly. Now, the reason why SLP keeps going up very fast is because the breeders keep buying all of the SLPs that are available. Why are they doing that? Well, it's because they're trying to sell as many Axie teams as possible. Why are they doing that? Well, it's because there's so many new Axie players. So, ang hindi ma-predict kasi ng mga technical analysts and things like that, no? So the chart readers, the thing they can't predict kasi is the number of users that are getting into Axie Infinity for the first time. And because that number is so much bigger than we thought, like we went from 250,000 in June to 400,000 at the start of July, and then now we're at 800,000. Yung mga ganun na growth na yon, no one saw that coming. And that's the thing that's making all of the SLP prices go crazy. And AXS also actually. Pero yun yung that's the reason why hindi siya nabasa nung mga chart readers. It's because no one was expecting it was going to be as fast as this.
Yeah, actually no May nasa 60,000 lang daily active users natin. Yeah. And then sobrang
crazy.
So follow-up question ni Alaska Lagos. Additional question po, provided that new the need ng new players para magtuloy-tuloy yung economy ng Axie Infinity. Won't that mean that the game is a Ponzi scheme? Ayan, pwede na natin pag-usapan.
Sure. Yeah, okay. I actually wrote an entire article about this, so I'll give you the summary na lang. So the first thing you have to check kasi when you're assessing if something is a Ponzi scheme or not. And by the way, it's a good question to ask about every new crypto project that you are looking at, no? So you should always ask yourself, is this a Ponzi scheme? And then how can I find out if it's a Ponzi scheme or not? Those are very, very important questions to ask. So the definition kasi of a Ponzi scheme is kind of what this user is saying here. He's asking kung kailangan niya ng patuloy na new players, doesn't that make it a Ponzi scheme? Because that's one of the definitions of a Ponzi scheme. Yung kailangan, there's always new money being put into the project by new participants or new members of the scheme. But that's only one of the definitions. The second definition is pag nawala na yung nawala na yung new money, the whole thing collapses. And then the third thing is wala siyang fundamental business value na generate. So that's the third and most important part of the Ponzi scheme definition. So in a Ponzi scheme kasi wala naman silang totoong negosyo. The entire thing is just money being circulated. Actually,
from
pataas
newer
yun.
investors.
So it's not actually circulated, it's going up, di ba? Pataas lang siya dun sa mga original na participants or members. So the question you should ask yourself, is there any business value that is being generated by Axie Infinity? And I think the answer to that is yes, because even if you remove the part where you earn money from it, you are getting entertainment from it. You are competing for leaderboards. You are doing live streams of your games. You've got YouTube channels talking about the strategy of the game to help you become better Axie players. All of those things are what we call the attention economy. So yung time that you spend watching YouTube, watching this Facebook live stream, lahat yan may value eh. It's hard to define exactly what the value is. Hindi naman wala naman siyang exact peso price, pero lahat yan may value kasi it means that you prefer to do this thing, watching this Facebook live stream, rather than doing something else, whatever, diba? So the idea is that there is value being generated by Axie Infinity as a game because entertainment has value. Using your skills to compete with another player somewhere else in the world, that has value. And because of that, I don't think that Axie is a Ponzi scheme. I think that it is a very, very new type of entertainment that is actually creating revenue opportunities for its players. That's there's not a lot of examples of that successfully yet right now. That's why it's so hard to wrap our heads around it. But yeah, I don't think it's a Ponzi scheme. I think that we're still trying to get to a point na balance yung economy. I actually don't think it's completely balanced yet. Mostly because the thing that is making it complicated, sobrang bilis ng growth niya.
Yeah.
So hindi na natin masundan exactly kung balance ba yung players and breeders because there's just so many new players. Anyway, so all of that stuff, we will learn it together as we just continue to monitor the situation. And I think Axie Alerts PH is going to be very important for this kasi merong constantly nag-update dun sa community kung ano na yung nangyayari with the price, ano na nangyayari with the game. Yun. So all of that stuff's very important.
Ayan, Sir Luis, may next question si Legendary. Mahaba. Madami po ako nababasa na sinasadya po talaga ng mga devs na gawing unplayable ang game tuwing second week and last week of the month para mabalance yung economy, para bumaba value ng SLP para makabili mga breeders ng murang SLP so they can breed more. Ano masasabi niyo to?
Baliktad yun. That's baliktad. You've got it backwards. That's not how it works. Actually, what you're describing is the complete opposite of what's happening. If the players can't play, what happens? There will be less SLP in the economy, correct? Kasi no one's earning right? Does everyone agree na yun yung mangyayari? If the players can't log in, they can't earn their 150 or 200 SLP per day, That means that they can't claim SLP, they can't sell SLP into the marketplace. What will happen in general? Bababa yung supply ng SLP. What will happen to the breeders? Assuming that the breeders still want to buy SLP, they're going to buy whatever is available, pero kulang siya. Right? And then, ang mangyari, tataas yung price ng SLP. Baliktad yung,
SLP.
yung dinidescribe nyo. So, actually, yun yung nakikita natin ngayon eh. That's the reason why the SLP price won't go down. It's because there's not enough SLP in the market right now. And the breeders are still buying as much as they can, even though the players are having a hard time hitting their quotas kasi the servers have been down for the last week. So, yun. Baliktad actually yung nangyayari.
Ayan. Mga ano kasi, kung ano pinagsasabi ng iba sa mga Facebook natin na sinasadya ng mga devs. Okay, next. Ito.
Okay. Can I ask? Sorry, ako muna mag-ask. I've
Yes,
been
go
meaning
for
to
it, go
ask
for it.
this actually. So, Sir Luis, familiar ka naman sa Laika app, no?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you know naman, it was recently banned. So,
Yes.
with this, can this actually affect the Axie community?
Okay, so I think that wala naman siyang direct effect sa Axie community, but I think the reason why we were all concerned was because we were worried that maybe so let's do some background first, no? Bakit na-ban yung Laika? And sino yung nag-ban sa Laika? Well, it was yung Bangko Sentral, basically nag-issue sila ng order sa Laika na sabi nila, you need to stop all of your payments operations here in the Philippines. And because they're a payments company, that was basically like saying, just stop working here in the Philippines. Why did they do that? Because it turns out na hindi lisensyado yung Laika to be a payment system in the Philippines. And you kind of need licenses for that. It's not something that you can get away with, especially since celebrities yung mga gumagamit sa kanya, yung mga endorsers ng Laika, like Pia Wurtzbach and Ivana Alawi.
Yeah, like the big influencers.
Big names, right? And then they're not just making small purchases with their Laika gems. Like Pia Wurtzbach bought a car with her Laika gems, right? So these were not small. These were not small purchases anymore. Anyway, so the Bangko Sentral finally took notice and they said, hey, you know what? Actually, wala kayong license for what you're doing, and we're gonna ask you to halt your operations. Now, yung tanong sa akin or sa, well, I mean, for a lot of people is Axie Infinity going to come to is gonna have the same problem? Well, so firstly, hindi naman payment system yung Axie Infinity, right? It's not a way for you to buy and sell anything other than Axies, right? And yung Axies na yun, nasa loob lang yun nung economy ng Axie Infinity eh. It's not like you're not buying groceries with your AXS, you're not buying SLP with your you're not buying groceries with your SLP. Although that's kind of starting right now, actually. I saw some merchants that
it
are
is.
starting
I'm
to
actually
accept
seeing
SLP.
some establishments
pero
accepting
ano yun?
SLPs as payments.
That is the right of a merchant to accept whatever they want as payment for something. Like if I was a merchant and I said, hey, I want to only accept I don't know, coffee beans as payment for, I don't know, whatever, my artwork. That's totally your right. That's fine. Well, the government doesn't care about that. The only thing they care about naman is being able to tax the transaction.
Right.
So that part's fine. I don't think that if there will be a problem with Axie Infinity, it's not going to be because of that. It will be because of the fact that you have hundreds of thousands of Filipinos that have suddenly found a way to make money na hindi obvious kung paano i-tax yung earnings na yon. And that's why we were talking very early in the episode, in the show, we were talking very early about the BIR. I think yun yung pinaka-likely na magiging issue ng government natin with Axie Infinity. How do we tax all of these Filipinos who suddenly have money and hindi na nire-report kung magkano yung kita nila, ganun, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So we don't know what the government will eventually do with this. But you better believe that we are going to be paying a lot of attention to that because it's very relevant to all of us. Hindi lang naman yung Axie players yung ganyan eh. People who bought Bitcoin 5 years ago And now that Bitcoin is worth 20 times what they paid for it, what happens to them? Diba? Like, may mga questions na hindi obvious yung mga answers eh. So, yun, I think we'll find out together. We don't know the answer to that.
And actually, sa Laika naman, nagbigay naman sila ng notice na nakikipag-coordinate na sila with BSP in regarding sa pag-ayos ng
Yeah. I'm still not a fan of Laika, but that's just my personal opinion.
Laika gems.
Yeah.
Okay, next, and we have ang haba niyan. What's your long-term thought about Axie circulation? For sure, dadating din yung time na dadami na circulating Axies economy, which can bring down its demand and price. What do you think that Devs will do to maintain its price and circulating Axies in the market?
Yeah, okay. So, I actually wrote about this also. When I was first investigating Axie Infinity, my concern was, firstly, hindi kasi namamatay yung mga Axies na nabibreed nyo.
Yeah.
So, or hindi sila nag-expire. No matter how old an Axie is, you can still duel with it, right? So, my concern was, hindi ba eventually, like, mapupuno na lang yung ecosystem with just an unlimited number of Axies, even if, because you could just keep breeding forever, diba? Technically, you could just keep breeding forever. I mean, obviously, most people will not breed past 2 or 3 times, but if you have enough people kasi in the economy, eventually, dadami lang ng dadami yung Axies until there's just so, like, an infinite number of Axies, there's not enough people who will buy it. I think that the devs are aware of this. I think that they're probably going to do something where they'll introduce. I mean, I don't want to speculate too much, but if I was a game designer, I would probably put some kind of expiration date on the Axies.
Though actually, Sir Luis, hindi naman siya confirmed regarding sa pag-control ng Axie. Pero may mga circulating theories na gagamitin na yung Axies, kunyari si Axie 1. Yeah, and then gagamitin mo yung skills na meron siya, etc. to upgrade the new Axie. So parang mawawala si Axie 1. And then mag-upgrade si Axie 2.
Yeah, so parang pwede mong in other games you call this salvaging. So pwede mong i-salvage yung old thing and turn it into
and then you get like materials or something.
Sure. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know exactly how that works dun sa NFT part of it, but I guess mababurn na lang siya. I guess that's the simplest way to say it.
Although hindi siya official na
Yeah.
Baka sabihin
It's just a rumor.
Yeah. So I think
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good.
You're getting additional use out of your old Axies, or maybe the trash ones, diba? The ones that you're never gonna play with anyway. At least magamit mo sila for this. Yeah, so that's great. I think that's a good idea. I also think that so in some classic games like Magic the Gathering, ang ginawa nila meron silang ibang types of duels. So they'll say na this type of duel will only work if your Axie is of a more modern version. So let's say kailangan 2021 siya na breed, and then this more open type of duel will only work if your Axies are from like before 2021. So parang kinakategorize mo yung Axies so that parang mag-iiba yung value nila. Like the more modern Axies will belong to kind of this new bracket, and then there'll be an older bracket na for classic Axies. And we've seen that in Magic the Gathering. We saw it in Hearthstone. There's a bunch of other collectible types of games na ganun yung style para the players still have a reason to enjoy the new stuff, and then naka-separate yung new stuff from the older or more classic stuff, which is that works in a lot of games. So
Ayan, sabi naman ito, follow up kanina ni Legendary. So, may question din siya dito kanina. Thanks po sa pag-explain ng previous question ko. I have another question. Marerecommend niyo po bang mag-full-time ako at ibang tao na mag-NFT game since may future dito compare sa corporate world? Na sobrang baba ng sahod, time-consuming, mas prone po sa global virus, sa pandemic.
This is a very difficult question to answer, but so what I will say is you need to make that decision yourself. But you have to understand that play to earn is very very young.
Yeah.
It's still very early. We don't know if it will work 1 year from now, 2 years from now. Um, I think that I think that if you have a little bit of time, like hindi ka naman nagmamadali to join the workforce. I think just do this. Why not? Why not? Try to make a little bit of money from this. Save it. Don't spend it. Just keep saving it, just in case Axie Infinity doesn't do well in 1 or 2 years. I mean, we don't know, diba? Like, I'm just trying to be safe. I'm trying to give you the safe version of this advice. Eh. Because, like, obviously, I'm a crypto person. I'm very, very high risk. I'm very willing to just dedicate all of my time and money
Yeah.
to a particular thing if I really believe in it. Eh. And I did that with Bitcoin in 2014. I did that with NFT art in 2017. It's part of my, I don't know, whatever, my personality flaw siguro
Yeah.
na I constantly want to keep doing risky things. But the crypto world is exactly where risky things often have big benefits. Eh. So yun, and don't ever think that Axie Infinity is a sure win. It's not. It just looks really really good right now. But you have to understand that there is a risk involved when you buy your first team. Maybe you're not even buying your first team. Maybe you're a scholar, and in which case, great. That's great. That's the best way to get involved in Axie Infinity right now. Kasi oras lang yung pinapalit mo, 'di ba? You're not actually
Yeah.
spending your own money, which is a wonderful situation to be in. So if you can do that, that is the best way to do it. Um, yeah, but if you're buying your own team, you have to understand that there's a risk there. I mean, how much is your average team right now? 80,000 pesos.
80,
Average,
70,
yeah, mga
90.
ganun, 'di ba? So, a little less than 100,000. When I bought my first team, it was 40,000. So
Yeah.
medyo mahal
Wow.
na nga yun for me eh. But like, and that was just a few months ago. That was not even a long time ago. But so yung
Mura na yun. Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, exactly, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Mura na siya comparative to what it is now. But
Exactly.
what happens if next month naging 40,000 siya ulit? Like, what happens to the team that you just bought at 80? That means na ang tagal nung return on investment mo. Maybe you were projecting na within 4 to 5 months bawi ko na yung 80,000 ko. Well, now it's not going to be 4 to 5 months. It's going to be more like 9 to 10 months, right? So you have to be willing to accept na may chance na ganun eh. And that's why you need to be careful. It's not a sure win, but it's a great opportunity to try something new. It's a great opportunity to become part of a very vibrant community. For all of those reasons, like I just got into it because I don't I'm very very
Yeah.
I like taking risks, I guess. And the crypto world is exactly the kind of place kasi where high risk is often rewarded if you time your entry properly. Yeah.
Yeah, and wag naman kayo mag-quit ng mga full-time ninyo. Gawin niyo
Oo, wag niyo
parang
gawing sideline yung mga
It
trabaho
only
niyo.
takes a few hours naman, di ba? Kala ko ba 2 to 3
Yeah.
hours per day lang
Yeah,
yun?
it
You don't
Yeah,
need to
1
make a
hour.
full-time
Actually,
job.
20 minutes na ako sa adventure and then depending na lang sa arena kung mananalo ako like tuloy-tuloy eh.
Yeah, wag
Yeah.
niyo naman kayo mag-quit kasi
Yeah, like what to do.
pwede siya mag $100 ngayon. Bukas pwede siya mag $2. So walang kasiguraduhan sa world of crypto. So ayun, may follow-up si ano. So mga konting questions na lang tayo.
Alaska ulit.
What happens when a group of investors buys a large amount of AXS and holds them? Ayan.
Good
Well,
question.
exactly what is already happening right now. The reason why we keep hitting new all-time highs with the price of AXS is because there are investors that are buying large amounts of AXS. Hindi siya obvious because you don't see it in the Binance marketplace, but there's another exchange, another part of the Binance exchange called the futures exchange. This is the part where like everyone is like really betting on the price of assets, no? And that's where the real money is going. So you don't see it normally because you're probably only looking at what we call yung spot market ng Binance. That's the regular Binance. There's another version of it that's for very very aggressive traders na crazy na yung numbers, no? So yeah, we already are seeing that happen. And what is happening is exactly what you're asking here. The price of AXS keeps going up because of that. And I think we can expect that there will still be more upwards growth for AXS over the next few months, mostly because there's no other game that I can think of that is anywhere near Axie Infinity in terms of yung scale niya or yung popularity niya, especially here in the Philippines. No? Like I think here in the Philippines is what I care about the most. I really like that Axie Infinity is so big in the Philippines, and that's why I started making direct investments in it. I wanted to do something that was actually relevant to the Philippines. I didn't want to just be betting on stuff na, whatever. We never see it here anyway. So parang it feels very abstract. But Axie Infinity, I know that it is a really big deal in the Philippines right now, and that's why I kind of went in to Axie Infinity the way I did.
Ayan. So, meron tayong 2,700 viewers. So, guys,
shoutout sa inyo, guys.
Actually, share ko lang nung pinakaunang live natin, mga 4 lives ago, ang gusto ko lang 20 viewers.
No?
Yun lang ang gusto namin. Kasi syempre, malaki na kasi yung community ng Filipino at sa Axie Infinity. Nasa almost 500,000 na tayo, 500,000 na tayo. So, kaya napaka-important na may responsibility rin kami as one of the biggest page sa Philippines in terms sa Axie Infinity na ibigay sa inyo yung mga information na makakatulong sa inyo. Syempre, hindi lang yung puro pasok lang tayo sa Axie Infinity na hindi natin alam. Mostly sa mga Pinoy kasi ganyan, sumasabay lang sa hype, sumasabay sa gato ganyan. So, every time na bababa value ng SLP and AXS, parang sobra silang affected. Ayan. So, second to the last. Pwede na to last question. Ayan.
Sige.
Axie Infinity po has a unlimited circulating supply, while Crypto Blades has 600k circulating supply right now. What will happen if they reach the 1M
I was
circulating
about to ask
supply?
that.
See, what will happen if who's they? Crypto Blades or Axie
Actually,
Infinity?
siguro Crypto Blades kasi more than 1M na circulating supply for
okay.
for Axie.
Okay, so here's the thing about circulating supply. No, don't get fixated on that too much. It's more important that people actually use this stuff first. 1 million is a lot, and 600,000 is a lot. So don't worry about that stuff. The thing about Crypto Blades is I've never actually played it, by the way. Everyone keeps asking me to write a review about it. And so far, my only feedback is that the user interface is not so nice. But anyway, whatever. That's like not really. Wala pa akong direct feedback about the game itself. So, but try not to get blinded too much with numbers and jargon like circulating supply or stuff like. It's like it's not what matters. What matters is, does the game have good game mechanics? Does it have is it fun? No, firstly, is it fun? And then secondly, does the economy make sense? Is there a version of players versus breeders? Is there, you like ask yourself if it looks like it's sustainable. By the way, I'm happy to spend time to actually like understand how Crypto Blades work.
Yeah.
And once I do that, I'll share it with you guys, and then just tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Like, these are just opinions, right? I'm literally just sharing opinions with all of you. But like nakapila na kasi yung mga requests ko for like what I'm supposed to write about next, and like so DeFi Pet is one, and then Crypto Blades is another. I guess Alien Worlds also, kasi medyo maganda ng konti yung homepage ng Alien Worlds. I don't really know, man. It's like, it's hard to tell about these things kasi all of these projects are so young. And what they have is they have a lot of promises, no? They have a lot of promises. They're all trying to make themselves look like they're gonna be the next Axie Infinity. So you be careful. Be careful because it'll take a lot of work to become the next Axie Infinity. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, so ayun, bottom line siguro sa live stream natin, guys. Napaka unpredictable ng crypto and Axie Infinity sa lahat ng bagay. So, huwag kayo magde-decide ng uh, mga big decision dahil lang sa isang nakita ninyong live stream or nakita ninyong post, etc. So, do your own research then. And marami nagsasabi sa comment section, but daw ang higpit namin AAPH sa Discord. Guys, kasi kung hindi kayo aware, na ano tayo, natigil tayo sa may Discord sa Philippine server ng Axie Infinity mismo. And gusto natin iwasan yun and stop natin ang mga toxic na
Iwas
wala
tayo
namang...
sa toxic, guys.
Kaya, so, ayun. Sir Luis may pa-plug siya. Ayan.
Are we, this is our goodbye part na?
Yes po.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much for having me here, guys. Like, it was great to talk to you and your community. If you want to follow me, Hello Luis is, you can go to Facebook, fb.com/Hello Luis, and you can follow me there. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, I write a crypto update. So I talk about what happened in the crypto markets. Obviously, Axie Infinity is a big part of my updates because it's very, very Filipino-centric. The point of my updates kasi is to take the news about crypto and make it make it more relevant to the Filipino crypto user. So that includes Axie Infinity. It includes all of the other play to earn games. Tomorrow I'm going to be writing about the YGG token launch, which is happening in about 45 minutes. All of this stuff is very relevant to Filipinos kasi these are actually Philippine companies that are trying to create crypto products for other Pinoys. So I'm very excited to learn about that and write about it tomorrow. And that's it. Yeah, just follow me on Facebook, and if you still use email, I don't know how many people in your audience still use email. They actually have a newsletter kasi so ini-email siya sa inbox mo every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. But if not, you can just see my posts on Facebook. That's even easier. Yun lang. Thank you so much for the time, guys. I hope you found that informational, educational, and maybe even entertaining if I was doing my job right.
Yeah.
So,
Very insightful.
Yeah, marami kami natutunan, Sir Luis. And thank you for
so much.
sharing your knowledge sa Axie Infinity community natin sa Filipino, especially sa mga Pinoy, na marami tayong natutulungan sa bawat information. Ayan, may sabihin ka pa, James?
Actually, yun lang. Thank you as well, Sir Luis. It was very insightful. Dami ko natutunan. So, I hope kayo rin, guys, marami kayo natutunan. So, like nyo lang yung page namin and follow nyo si Sir Luis for more updates.
Ayan. So,
thanks, guys.
Ayun, guys, thank you for tuning in and see you sa next live natin. Bye!
I'll see you, guys.